Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well. And shalom to the hopeful elect. This video, I just want to get into the memorial, the blowing of the trumpets, which is a high holy day for our nation, the children of Israel, who are today known as the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, and we're meant to adhere to these celebrate these high holy days and keep these solemn assemblies. Okay, and it being the first month of the first day of the seventh month, the new moon. It's only appropriate just cover some scriptures and you know make it bring it to light with the understanding of events happening today. All right. So now this is Leviticus 23 and 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the seventh month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made with fire unto the Lord. Okay, so what we were ordered to do was to basically blow the trumpets, which you know that the priests basically blew at the time, made of silver. Okay, and just to show you the uses of those trumpets, since we're need to understand why this was being done. Okay, so there's many uses of the trumpets. If you read, I'm going to start from verse 8, but if you read from before, from like verse 1 even up on, I'm only going to read verse 8 and 9, but you can read all of it and it'll basically give you understanding why the horns were used, why the blowing of the trumpet was made. But this is the significance of the horns being blew for us in this present time period. Right, this is Numbers 10 and 8. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. Okay, pursuant to Exodus 19 and 6, and also in the book of Revelations, Yahweh Shai basically done away with the priesthood, and now the priesthood's been extended onto all the tribes. Okay, fulfilling that a nation of kings and priests. Okay, and even when you deal with a priesthood being made in Numbers, initially it was extended onto the firstborn of every family, was meant to be the priest of the family. But then Aaron, the tribe of Levi, but specifically through the lineage of Aaron, were made to be the priests of our nation. So now the first fruits in Yahweh Shai, okay, the elect, they're going to be the the priests and the kings over the nation of Israel. All right, so it says, verse 9, and if ye go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets. Ye shall be remembered before the Lord your power, and ye shall be safe from your enemies. Okay, so we're presently in captivity, and we are presently blowing a horn. Okay, not literally blowing a horn, but we're blowing a spiritual horn because it's a spiritual warfare we're fighting. Okay, the spiritual horn being the scriptures, the holy scriptures. That's why also it tells you Matthew the 11th chapter, we've piped onto and you haven't danced, because this is a soulful song, with spiritual soulful song. We're bellowing out there, man, and only the elect can dance to it. Only they could learn the notes. So that's the significance of why we're blowing the trumpets now, because we're being oppressed. We're blowing alarm to ready, and like it tells you in the earlier verses, it was used to assemble the children of Israel, and that's what we're doing now. We're using it to assemble the children of Israel by pushing out that alarm through the scriptures, and the alarm being all these different prophecies coming to pass, and the fact that they're passing, man, they're happening. All right. Now remember, you go into history, Jericho. How was Jericho pulled down? By the priesthood blowing the trumpet around it 7 times, and then the walls fell, and then it was plundered by our nation. And also when you do with Gideon had a pitcher, a lamp, and and a horn. They said the sword of Gideon slayed thee, and blew the horn and smashed the pitcher. Then all, I believe it was the Midianites at the time, I can't remember, but all of them basically took out their swords and slew each other, and that's how the Lord got us out of captivity. So this is a faithful work for those of the elect, man. You got to use faith, because we're blowing this trumpet, and that takes me to the trumpet, man, being blown. So this is Joel, right, 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion. It ain't telling us to blow the trumpet to the whole world, man. Only people who are blowing the trumpet to is the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and those of our people that are scattered all over the earth. We're blowing that trumpet, being the scriptures, okay? And I'll reaffirm this with a precept afterwards. We're blowing it onto Zion, all right? And sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Okay? So that's for our people to get out of captivity. Alright? So that's Ezekiel 33:1. Again the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword cometh upon the land, and we're the present watchmen, it tells you that in the book of Habakkuk, man, I'll stand upon my watch until the Lord is required of me and reprove me, loosely paraphrasing. Okay, we're the watchmen over Israel. We're standing at the gates, basically, and we're doing this. We're shaking our hand till we get taken up to the gates of the nobles, right? So we're the watchmen on the watchtower, and we're basically we're showing the people, we're blowing a trumpet to make it be known, whether and basically when we're blowing the trumpet, we're letting them know that shit's about to go down. Okay, verse 3. So it says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. And that's what we're doing, man. We're out there getting the blood off our hands. And how we're doing that, we go out there, we prophesy, he who have ears to hear, let him hear. That's what we're doing. If you want to be if you want to be filthy still, let him be filthy. All right? We ain't here to, put you in an arm bar or a rear naked choke and force you to eat the roll. The Lord's appointed the elect to only understand the little sanctuary. And if you can't get it, then, the blood will be upon his own head. Verse 5, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. And that's only for the elect. 1/3 of Israel is going to deliver their soul. Starting with America, World War III, ICBMs falling from the sky and it being turned into the lake of fire. If you don't take heed to these words, the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. You're being blinded pursuant to Isaiah, the 6th chapter, and you're just going to die in America. But if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will require the watchman's hand. All right, and that's our niggas. That's our niggas. That's those that know the truth and ain't going out there and pushing this truth in the correct manner. All right, got people like IUIC that they're not warning the people with the RFID chip. Okay, and even the same with ISGPK. All right. Funny enough, they're both 501c3 chartered organizations. All right. So basically, the Lord will require the blood of their hands, man. So you got to go out there and push this truth and warn the people. All right. So now, another point I want to establish dealing with the blowing of the trumpets. All right. This is Exodus 19:16. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud come upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, And this is when the children of Israel wanted to see deal with the Most High. I believe they wanted to see the Most High, His presence. Okay, so this is the Most High revealing Himself, and the clouds and the lightning and thunder is basically the movie Independence Day. Basically illustrates these scriptures, man. When you saw the fire unfolding, the clouds, as it tells you in Ezekiel, but there was also like pursuant to this, lightnings and the thunders and the cloud of the mount. And it says, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. Okay, and that was that ram's horn blowing, as it shows you in the War of the Worlds, man. That deep bellowing ram's horn. Yeah. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Yahweh. Okay, and they stood at the nether part of the mount, and Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, it waxed louder and louder. Moses spake, and Yahweh answered him by a voice. All right. So that trumpet was it signifies the presence of the Lord. So even the actual making of the trumpet, everything that I spoke unto you, dealing with the horn gets us out of captivity to assemble the children of Israel to basically to be joyful before the Heavenly Father. The main reason of that horn is basically a remembrance of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Okay, and I'm gonna prove that with this precept. Okay, this is Sirach 50 and 16. Then shouted the sons of Aaron, and sounded the silver trumpets, and made a great noise to be heard, for remembrance before the Most High. Okay, and that was made for remembrance before the Most High. Okay, so that and more specifically, being that we're in the time of the blowing of the trumpets, the ultimate time period where that trumpet being blown is of key significance is when the Lord returns, man. As it tells you in Amos 3 and 6, it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Because when they had our ancestors, our forefathers, when they heard the trumpet during the time of Moses, it said the whole camp trembled. All right. So now this is 1 Thessalonians 4 and 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh. Okay? So Yahweh Shai is going to come with the trump of the Heavenly Father. And the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first. Those that died in this truth, they're going to be risen, and they're going to, be in the chariots with the Lord. Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Therefore comfort one another with these words. All right. So basically, I'm gonna be caught up together with into the clouds when Yahweh Shai returns, man. In a twinkling, in a moment, you shall be changed at the last trump. Okay. So that's the time that we're looking forward to. So with that, man, I pray you're edified. So all praises to Yahweh Shem Yashai, double honors unto the apostles and elders, great millstone, and shalom to the whole full elect. Shalom.